So the question is, how much would you spend on jeans? $20? Maybe $100? Maybe you're a big spender. $500. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. You've got money to burn. At least $1,000 for jeans. Now, gents, I asked this question in the YouTube community tab and over 60,000 of you voted. And what'd you say? 82% of you said jeans should cost under $100. Now, 15% of you are okay with jeans costing from $100 to $500. And apparently 3% of you are either filthy rich or in deep credit card debt because you said, you know what? $500, $1,000, whatever. I'll pay it for denim. Now, I know some of you guys are thinking with inflation the way it is, I'm going to have to sell my soul to get a good pair of jeans. But that's actually not true because there are tons of options under $100. In fact, I'm going to list 9 options that are in the $20 to $30 range. Go to Walmart, check out their George brand. You can find jeans for $20. At Tractor Supply, you got Blue Mountain for $20. Look around for Levi Carpenters. You're going to find these for $20 to $30. Wrangler Authentics, $25 to $30. Dickies, a solid workwear brand. You can find their jeans for $30. Check out Lee, an established brand. You can find jeans for $25 to $30. And if you're shopping online, don't sleep on Amazon Essentials. Yes, they make tons of other things, but they also are making basic unbranded jeans. Tons of reviews. You may have to go back and forth with the shipping, but Amazon makes it pretty easy. Those jeans are decent. And I get it. You may want something a little bit more fashionable, something you can possibly wear with a sports jacket. Go into Target, aka Target. They've actually got some decent options in their Goodfellows line. And again, you can go into the store and try these on. Now, with all those inexpensive brands I just talked about, all that cheap denim, I know a lot of you guys are going to complain, Antonio, come on. I want stylish options. I want something that I can dress up, something I can dress down, something that's going to work with everything in my closet, and I only want to pay $15. $20 is too much. Here's the thing. You can look around and you can find some great sales. I have seen $30 pair of jeans selling for $5, again, in bargain bins, but you got to go out there and look. In addition, if you really want good quality, nowadays you are going to pay a lot more. And I'm going to talk about different price points throughout this video, and I'm also going to talk about the details that you should be looking for when you start to spend more money. That being said, in the $50 range, there are tons of options, especially from established brands. So building off the brands we talked about earlier, some of my favorite brands you're going to see out there, especially when it comes to selection in fit and styles, you've got Wrangler, especially if you want a Western flair. This is just an established company. Yes, I know they've got jeans closer to $100 as well, but get on their email list. If you like this style of jean, you can walk into pretty much any store and you can find a pair of Wranglers, so they're easy to fit on. And I think, you know, again, for what you pay, you get decent quality. And again, if you're looking for work jeans, or maybe you want something that's colored in a little bit of a non-traditional color, check out Dickies. I used to wear this stuff when I was climbing radio communication towers. It is solid workwear, decent jeans. Now, I know some of you guys don't really like Dickies. You'd rather go Carhartt because it's a little bit more fashion forward, right? But before it became a fashion icon, Carhartt was simply a work brand. I remember, again, this is 25 years ago, wearing and having a Carhartt jacket, absolutely loving it. It was expensive, but it was just known for being quality. Well, guess what? Their denim is actually pretty decent. Again, look for it on sales. You can find a wide variety of places where it's sold. You know, going to Fleet Farm here in the Midwest, tons of options, but these are good work jeans. Now, I talked about Lee earlier, and I like them as they're an established brand. They've got lots of styles, lots of options, and they've been around a while. You can find them all over the place. Now, they definitely have options that start in the $30 to $40 range, but if you want something higher, you want maybe something even in selvage, you can actually look at the higher end jeans they've got. What I like about this, you can find a fit that works for you, and then you can transfer or level up if you want to spend more money. Now, if you want something a little bit more fashionable, something that is a little bit more stylish, check out American Eagle. A lot of guys, especially over the age of 30, kind of sleep on this brand, but guys, jeans don't have an age to them. You go find a style that you want. They're going to be a little bit lighter, but they still hold up pretty well to washing. So a decent brand for well under $50. Now, another brand you're going to see out there is Old Navy. Now, I don't really recommend getting Old Navy unless you get it on sale because I find that the quality doesn't stand up to a lot of washing. That being said, if you find a pair that just fits you and you're able to get them at a discount, possibly a good option. And of course, gents, we can't forget about Levi's. I've made an entire video about every single style, all the different fits and cuts, which I will link to down in the description of this video if you want to go check that out. But Levi's is, you know, they're a huge company, and there is a huge difference in their lower end denim versus a lot of their higher end stuff. But really, when it comes to options, when it comes to styles, and in general, decent quality for the dollars you pay, I still have to recommend them as a solid option. Now, a quick tip here for the wise. Any pair of denim that is retailing for under $100 is probably not going to be using the best materials. You're going to have the best workmanship. The heaviest material is probably also going to have a bit of elastane, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But understand that when things retail at this price point, they're going for the mass market. This is going to be denim that is either workwear or it's going to be denim that, in a sense, is just made to be sold to the masses. So you're not always going to get the best quality. That being said, if you know what to look for, you can find great options. So what to look for? Well, first up, look at the weight of the fabric. You're going to find denim ranges anywhere from 8 to 20 ounces. And this really refers to the weight of the yarn and the way it's woven. It also actually has to do with the physical weight of it, but you can usually feel it. In addition, look at the edges. Now, you're going to find that most lower cost denim is basically going to be sewn on the sides. It's going to have this type of serge here. They do this to make sure it doesn't fray. Selvage denim, on the other hand, is made with a specialty loom. So they actually have to, when they make selvage denim, they actually have to use more denim. But right here at the edge, as you can see, it's actually been set so it doesn't fray and it's got its own seal right on the edge. So if you find a pair of jeans made from selvage denim under $100, good find. Next up, let's talk about the materials. Now you're going to see cotton mixed in with elastane and other things. Is that bad? Not necessarily. I actually like some of the most comfortable pairs I have that little bit of stretch to them. Not a bad thing, depending on what you want the denim for. But if you want something that's going to age, if you want something that's going to take form, something that's going to look really stylish, get whiskers, be able to just simply last years and years, then you want to be looking for 100% cotton. Now the reason being is any type of spandex, any type of elastane, this is going to degrade quicker over time. Heat, especially just simply running through that hot wash, that hot dryer, it is going to slowly break down that elastic bit and the denim in itself will basically start to fall apart. The next price range we're going to be talking about when it comes to denim, $50 to $100. First up, we've got the Gap. I find that the Gap jeans fit me very well, but the material not really the best. And if you're familiar with Old Navy, you know that the Gap and Old Navy make all their stuff pretty much in the same warehouse. So the quality is a bit suspect here. That being said, if you want something that has a great fit, a little bit of elastane, then decent options. Now, if you're over in Europe, Zara is a good option. Not the best, but you're going to find $70, $80, $90. You can find some decent denim that will fit you well. Just look at the material it's made from. Next up, we've got Nautica. Now, Nautica is a brand, and we're going to find prices all over the place. They oftentimes go on sale. I think they used to be more, a little bit higher end, but they've really stepped down. That being said, their work denim is actually decent. I really don't like the styles too much, but again, if you find something that fits you, that you like the look of, you be the judge and say, hey, is this worth it, especially if it's on sale. Next up, we've got Abercrombie and Finch. I find that if you can get them on clearance, you can get them on sale. It's a decent brand, but paying full retail, yeah, I really wouldn't do it. They're not really known for their denim, but again, if it fits you well, if you like the style, then go for it. Next up, we've got Uniqlo. So if you haven't heard of this Japanese fashion brand, they're really, the last 20, 30 years, they've really made their inroads to the United States. I've only been in the store like twice, but everything I see about their attention to detail when it comes to denim makes these guys a great option, especially if you can find them in the $50 to $70 range. When you go higher, you're just going to find better quality from the material that they're actually using to the attention to detail on the stitching. And just FYI, look at stitches per inch. Generally in denim, you want to see about 8 stitches per inch. 6 may not seem much of a drop, but think about that. That's like a 25% drop in the number of stitches. And that just means that they're cutting corners. When it comes to Uniqlo, this Japanese brand really does it right. I like how they pay attention to the details, so I'm going to highly recommend them. I'll put it even higher than a lot of the brands costing $100, just simply because of what these guys do when it comes to attention to detail. Now, these next 4 brands all start at about the $80 to $90 range, and that's going to be The Buckle, Gustin, True Religion, and Calvin Klein. Now, personally, 20 years ago, I used to shop a lot at The Buckle, and what I loved is that they would actually adjust the denim. I'm not sure they do this anymore. If they do, let me know in the comments, but you could walk into The Buckle, get a pair of jeans, and get them hemmed. And to me, that was a big deal, something I took advantage of, and I just always loved that extra service.
Nice.
That being said, the weight of a lot of the denim is going to be definitely light, so I find that they really aren't that durable. That being said, if you can get the right fit and you just, you're not going to be working in them, but you just like the look, go for it. Next up, we've got Gustin, and I found the reviews on Gustin to be all over the place. I actually have no experience with this brand. I saw some people raving about the materials, other people saying the fit is horrible. It's all over the place, and you will find that, I think, with the brands, especially the lower priced ones under $100, they are going to be all over the place, and that is very frustrating that there isn't a consistency in fit, but hey, I guess unless they pass legislation. So understand that you really need to try things on, but if you can find something that fits you, if you think it's a good material, then go for it. Next up, we've got True Religion. I'm not sure that they made the embroidery on the back of the jeans popular, but definitely I still see some of these popping around. I really don't like this style much, but I know some of you guys love it. And again, if you can find a pair of denim, maybe that doesn't have all the sparkles and embroidery, good options here. But again, the reviews are all over the place. This was a brand I never got into. You got an opinion about this? Again, let me know in the comments below. With that being said, let's talk about a brand that I do think actually makes a great pair of denim, close to the $100 range, Calvin Klein. Now, they do a lot of fragrances I wish they could make stronger, but their jeans, there's just a great fit. At least I find. I don't own a whole lot of pairs, but I've had a great experience. I know a lot of you guys have told me, and I look at the reviews out there, they are really good for Calvin Klein in general. But like anything here, go try it on in the store, especially if you're going to starting to pay this kind of price point, or make sure the company's got a good return policy. And of course, for well under $100, you guys over in the UK, you've got Lee Cooper. You look for discounts, you could find these a lot less expensive. This company has been around, I think, since 1908, so you've got a wide variety of styles, a wide variety of options. Now, is Lee Cooper going to win any awards for quality or style? Probably not, but again, per dollar, per pound that you spend to grab one of these, I think that they definitely, are worth the money, especially if you can find them discounted, which you can. Just simply look around. They're sold all over the place over, in Europe. But what if you want to support a smaller brand? Well, actually, the jeans that I wear the majority of the time, and they're not a sponsor, they were in the past though, Revtown. I really do like their denim, and they make actually custom denim, or they used to. I'm not sure they do anymore. Go to their website and check it out. But 90 to just over $120 for their really heavier denim. Guys, I really like their stuff. That being said, again, have any of you guys had experience with any of the denim, any of the companies I've been talking about? I'm encouraging you to let me know down in the comments, because I learn more when I get down there and I engage with you guys. And if you enjoy a video like this, I would really appreciate it if you would smash that like button. Seriously, it lets the YouTube algorithm know that, hey, this video is worth watching, and hopefully more men will find it. So we've passed the $100 point. At this point, you want to be expecting a lot more from your denim, especially when it comes to fit. Again, denim, you can have, spend $2,000 on a pair of denim, and if you don't like the fit, if they don't feel good, doesn't matter how expensive they are, they're not going to look good because you're not going to feel good. So always make sure you get the proper fit, and don't be afraid to return a pair if, for some reason it just doesn't fit right. That being said, if you buy a pair of cotton denim, understand that you want to put them on and they should be a little bit tight. Not tight. Again, it really depends on what fit you're looking for, but denim will stretch, sometimes up to a full inch in terms of the waist and then around the hips. That being said, again, don't ever go with anything that's uncomfortable, but I would encourage, I think a lot of guys wear their denim too loose. I know we even went through the phase of, the skinny jeans. That being said, with us going towards looser denim, you got to be careful because a lot of the styles that these brands are now putting out are looser because they're trying to keep up with the fashion. So at the $100 range, let's talk about Lucky. Lucky jeans, you're going to find them, under 100, just under 100. You're going to find them well over 100. This is actually a brand that I've always loved the fit of. I think they really nail it here, at least for my body type. When it comes to the quality, though, of the material and the build, it's all over the place. And that's why I'm really hesitant to recommend them if you want denim that's going to stand up to the test of time. That being said, again, you get something that's made in a heavier weight and they're higher end line, you don't have to worry about that because it's just simply going to have thicker material. So be careful of their lighter weight materials unless you just want something for summer. Next up, we've got the brand Unbranded. A lot of you guys probably haven't heard of them, but they get rave reviews. A lot of people say they are the perfect combination of an entry point into higher end denim. Other people say, it didn't work for them. And again, this is where jeans are so personal and people have opinions all over the place about denim. But in general, Unbranded seems to be a brand that I personally do not have experience with them, but everything I'm reading in Reddit and the forums, this is a brand that if you're in the market, you got $100, definitely a brand you should check out. Now, a brand that most of you guys have probably heard of, Tommy Hilfiger. I have to say, my experience with these is they can be easily overpriced. Again, if you can find these on sale and you really like the look, especially if you want something that's a little bit more fashion forward, but the quality of the build has been all over the place. I've only had one pair, and to be honest, I wasn't that impressed with them, but this was years ago. Yeah, let me know, agree, disagree, but I'm really not a big fan of them. Next up, another brand that you're familiar with, Banana Republic. So if you're familiar with Old Navy, The Gap, this is going to be the higher end version of them. denim. I do like their fits, but overall I find that they're light. They use a lot of elastic in the material. Again, if you're looking for something that is incredibly comfortable and you just simply like them, there's a store near you, because there's usually, they got tons of options, tons of great styles, but I found over time that these really do not last, at least in my experience. So unless you can get them on sale, you know, so-so. J. Crew, on the other hand, is a brand that a lot of you guys have heard of that I really did like their denim. I've only had one pair and it did a good job lasting. Again, I made sure that I got something, I think it was 100% cotton, but overall I was happy with the brand. I also like a lot of their other stuff. That being said, you know, I haven't looked at J. Crew for a couple years, so if you have a different opinion, again, let me know in the comments below. Now, fit is really important. You should check out Bonobos. These guys made a name for themselves, starting off about making the perfect pair of pants. It was all about fit, and that's what they carried over into the denim. Now, Bonobos was acquired by Walmart years ago, and I know they just use them for like information, but still, it is a decent under the radar brand. Yes, a lot of you guys have heard of them if you're into the style world, but if you're not, this is a brand that I think actually makes good denim. That being said, the one caveat is pay attention to the materials, because a lot of their stuff has stretch and they rarely go on sale, so they may be a bit expensive. Now, gents, if you're spending more on denim, you want to understand, are you paying for fashion or are you paying for quality? And if it's the latter, you want quality, you want to pay attention to the details. Understand that in general, zippers cost less than button flies. So that's why in a lot of higher end denim, you're going to see button flies. It just costs more. You're also going to want to pay attention to the size of the pockets on the back. Small pockets on the back that we see, you know, in Old Navy and other places like that, it's because it saves them money. They're using less material. But if you go look at some of the higher end, you know, especially Japanese denim, they're using huge pockets on the back. Why? Because they are going in excess. They're really making sure they're double stitching. They're making sure those pockets are not going to get ripped off, but they're also using that excess material that costs money. You also want to pay attention to the finish. Is this raw denim or has this been run through a washing machine multiple times? And you can usually tell just simply by looking at the denim, not only the weight and the feel, but you know, at the edges of the denim, is it starting to discolor, lose its color? That, okay, has probably gone through a washing process. And again, if that's what you're looking for, not necessarily bad, but when you look at whiskers, is it something that's already coming with the whiskers right there in the front? And did they use a laser, which you're going to see, it's pretty much going to be consistent, versus actually using by hand. So when they go by hand, they're going to use a little bit of sandpaper, and it is not going to be consistent. Those are the extra details that a lot of times people are paying for. Now, if you're looking for some lesser known brands under 150 bucks, definitely check these out. So first up, we've got Bravestar. Again, a lot of people raving about this brand. They fly under the radar. Next up, Madewell, another company a lot of people haven't heard of, making good denim. Next up, we've got Mott & Bow, G-Star Raw, and let's not forget about Outer Known. Now, as we shoot past the $150 point, you better be expecting more from your denim. Now, Polo Ralph Lauren, again, they're a big brand all over the place. I think if you're starting to spend this much, you're really just going for the brand there. Nothing really special about them, in my opinion. Next up, we've got Todd Snyder. These guys get great reviews. I've only seen them in stores, but what I did see, I was pretty impressed with, and I do like their styles. Naked and Famous Denim, absolutely love the name, and the styles look pretty good here. And let's talk about Diesel. Okay, so they definitely got the name brand going for them. A lot of people swear by their denim. They also kind of are inconsistent and all over the place. Again, if you can go into the store and you find a pair that you just love, go for it. American Giant, they've got denim ranging from 150 bucks to close to $200. And at the top of the price point here, we've got Acne Studios, and you're going to find their denim starting at about $200. So that leads us to the next tier, denim that's going to cost you between $200 and $300. So the brands you want to pay attention to here are going to be Todd Shelton. You've got Paige, Nudie Jeans, Free Note, AG. Now, AG I talked about years ago, and what I like about them is the shape. If you're a guy over the age of 50, you don't have much of a backside, check out AG. Next up, we've got APC. These guys have been around for a while, and they have always been about quality. At about $270, look at Rag & Bone. And for under 250 bucks, check out 3x1.
3x1.
They were actually featured in a video. I saw they make jeans, custom-made jeans for LeBron, and those cost 1,500 bucks. I don't know with inflation what that would be. Let's just say that these guys are making some pretty good denim, and you got the custom option with them if you decide to go that route. All right, Jen, so at this point, we're shooting past $300. And here, either money is no object, or you really have something that you're shooting for. You want a particular material, you want a particular build, maybe you want something custom. You want to make sure you're getting denim that just really is, you know, perfect for you. You want something that you are going to wear the heck out of, or when you wear it, you just simply are going to feel like $1,000,000 bucks. So the first brand I want to talk about, Detroit Denim, $300 plus. These guys have a bit of a cult following, and for good reason. I mean, these guys really, at this price point, you are getting what you want. Starting at just over $500 and going into almost $2,000, we've got Visvim. Now, Visvim hasn't been around too long, about 20 years, and they were founded by a Japanese gentleman that just simply wanted to make quality denim. And you're going to notice throughout, as you get into the higher end, that the Japanese seem to be making a lot of great quality denim. How did this come about? Well, I guess it depends on what story you hear, but I heard a lot of the mills on the East Coast were shutting down, and a lot of Japanese investors came in and bought the looms. And that was the key thing, is that they couldn't recreate. They bought the high quality looms that made that high quality selvage denim, and they took it over to Japan. They rebuilt them, and then they started these companies up from scratch because they wanted to basically recreate some of the Americana look that they really liked, that style and fashion. And they saw a future where apparently a lot of those business owners on the East Coast did not. And having said that, that's apparently what Visvim puts into their clothing. They got the whole Americana, the American ruggedness type of look mixed in with Japanese attention to detail and perfection. Now, if you don't need all that, but you want good quality jeans from $600 to, well, close into $1,000, check out St. Laurent. Or is it St. Laurent? I don't know how to pronounce that correctly. I don't have a pair of their denim. All I do know is that these guys, again, are charging north of $600 for their entry level jeans. But again, at this area, they're paying attention to all the details. They are probably, there's a lot of handwork that goes into this type of denim. That being said, if you just want to pay for a label, you don't care about handwork, you just want a fancy name, check out Gucci. Gucci makes jeans and they will sell them to you at any price you want to pay, but most likely anywhere from, $500 to $1,000. And of course, if Gucci's in on it, you bet Tom Ford would want to come in on it and charge maybe even a little bit more, although his denim starts at about $800. I know it sells also higher end, well over $1,000. And Tom Ford, I just love his stuff. So I will give Tom Ford a pass because I would love to own a pair of Tom Ford's denim. The guy he just breathes style. And if you want to spend over $1,000 on denim, check out the brands Balmain or Secret Circus. Literally, Secret Circus had a pair of denim selling for over $1 million. Apparently it had diamonds in it and stuff. So yeah, if you've got money to burn, if this is what you want to wear, then go for it. What video to watch next? Well, guys, I've got you covered with this video right here. What is it? I'm not going to tell you. Don't worry, I'm not going to rickroll you. It is a solid video, but click and find out what video I'm talking about. Yes, magically click it and you'll go to the next one.